Welcome to Valhalla Sports Talk's the Skol Report. Right now, we're going to do Week 2 picks and predictions in the NFL. Let's go. So yeah, Week 2 picks and predictions in the NFL, a continuing series here on the Skol Report. Last week, obviously Week 1, we had our first go at this deal. So what we're basically doing here, just as a refresher, is we're making picks straight up and then also against the spread for all of the NFL action this weekend. So as I mentioned last week, I wanted to track my progress, and let me tell you, last week was ugly, as I thought it would be, with no training camp and no preseason to speak of. I knew that there would be some growing pains in this deal. So without further ado, let's show last week's results. Ouch. So pick 'em. I won 6 out of 10. I won 6, lost 10. And against the spread, I won 6 and lost 10. And it wasn't straight up, the same, with one game, with two teams playing, and then I would pick one with the spread, one without. It was all over the board. It was ugly. So again, bad first week. Hope nobody took my advice and actually put money on this thing. But I pick 'em. We won 6, lost 10, and then against the spread, we won 6 and lost 10 as well. And I don't think I want to leave that up there much longer, but we'll keep track of that throughout the season, and we'll continue to update not only how we did each week, but how we're doing as the season progresses. So hopefully I can get that deal to improve greatly here in the future. So let's move on down to this week, right? Let's get this week's stuff going. Bring up this week's thumbnail here. So yeah, Week 2 picks and predictions. About to get right into it here. A full slate on the NFL schedule again this weekend, with nobody having bye weeks. Again, it sounds like the vast majority of the stadiums again will not have fans. So just another weird week. I guess we'll see if the picks are easier to make as we go through this deal. But let's go ahead and bring up the action for this week. Oops. Still learning this whole process. There we go. So there's this week's matchups set to go. And then I thought it would be funny to roll some music in the background while I'm picking these things. So I went into YouTube's music library and I said, let me find something. I'm just going to pick it by the name of the song, right? So Tough Data is the name of this song that we're going to use while we're making our picks today. Should be funny. Yeah, it was Tough Data last week. What are you making your predictions based on, with no preseason and no real news out of the NFL teams? We're going to go ahead and get this music fired up. There we go. Make sure it's not too loud here, and we'll get right into the picks, ladies and gentlemen. So the first matchup of the week, Cincinnati Bengals at Cleveland Browns. That's probably too loud, the music there. Let's bring it down. So the first matchup of the week, Cincinnati Bengals at Cleveland Browns. This one here, Cleveland is favored by 8.5 points. That seems like a shocking line to me. Both teams lost last week. Cleveland looked horrible, and Cincinnati was just a field goal away from winning their game. But I guess Cincinnati travels to Cleveland here. The line, like I mentioned, is 8.5. So kind of a, like I said, weird line. 46 points is the over-under here. The money against the spread, 62% headed towards Cincinnati and 38% towards Cleveland. And on the money line, you've got 79% betting Cleveland, 21% betting Cincinnati. My prediction in game 1 of the week, I'm going to take Cleveland straight up. And if you give me 8.5, I'm going to take them Cincinnati Bengals And I believe in Joe Burrow, ladies and gentlemen. I think he's still going to be legit. So let's move on to the next matchup. Got to make sure we keep everything on the screen here, right? So the second matchup there, Los Angeles Rams on the road at the Philadelphia Eagles. Rams won their game last week. Philly embarrassed by the Washington team. But Philly is the favorite in this one by 4.5. Over under of 49. Money against the spread. 60% going towards LA at this point. 40% towards Philly. And a straight money bet, 100% going on the Rams here. My prediction on this one here, I'm taking Philly in a pick'em, and then if I get 4.5, I'm taking the Rams. So I think this is going to be a close ball game, ladies and gentlemen. So close ball game. So Philly again is the pick, straight up, and if you give me 4.5, I'm taking the Rams. So let's move on. Carolina, Tampa Bay. Carolina Panthers travel to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So two new quarterbacks in new cities, right? Bridgewater in Carolina, Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. The Bucs host this game, and they are favored big by 8.5. These are NFL spreads that you don't normally see. You know, this 8.5, anything over 7 is usually a safe bet to take the points, right? But let's go here. This one here, Carolina, Tampa Bay, minus 8.5. I'm going to pick Tampa Bay in a pick 'em, so straight across Tampa Bay. And if you give me all them points, I'm taking Carolina. Okay, so that's my pick on that one. Let's get to this next one. Denver at Pittsburgh Steelers. Denver at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh favored by 5 in this one. So Pittsburgh minus 5, the over-under 44. There's no information available yet as far as the betting trends for the spread and the money, because obviously this team's played last night. But this one right here, so Pittsburgh, the home team, Denver traveling. This one right here, I'm taking Pittsburgh straight up, and I'm taking Pittsburgh even if I have to give up the 5. So Pittsburgh straight across. Pittsburgh straight across, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to this next one. Atlanta Falcons traveling to Jerry's World and the Dallas Cowboys. Both teams disappointing losses last week, right? But Dallas in this one is favored by 7.5 as the opening line. That line has since dropped to minus 5, but remember on here, we're doing whatever the opening line is. That's what I'm making my picks based on. So here's minus 7.5. My pick on this Dallas-Atlanta game. I'm taking Dallas in a straight pick, and if I have to give up 7.5, I'm still taking Dallas. I think this is going to be the breakout game for CeeDee Lamb. He had a good game this week, but I think he's going to just explode on the scene this week in Jerry's World. So Dallas straight across on this one, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to the next one. San Francisco, New York Jets. There we go. We got it in the window. San Francisco going on the road, traveling all the way across the country to play in front of no fans at the New York Jets. This one here, 43.5 is the over-under, and San Francisco's giving up 4 at the open. Now they're giving up 7, but we're going to go with the opening line, right? Minus 4. So in this one here, I'm taking San Francisco straight up, and I'm taking the Jets if you give me 4. Taking the Jets if you give me 4. So I think that travel is going to be a big deal there. Kind of hard to get hyped up, isn't it, if you don't have any fans in the stands? But we will see. So, again, San Francisco, a straight up pick 'em, and then if you give me 4, I'm taking the Jets. So let's go to the next one. Buffalo, Miami, ladies and gentlemen. Buffalo Bills traveling to the Miami Dolphins. Buffalo won last week in impressive fashion, I think, and then Miami obviously lost. But Buffalo in this one is giving up 3 points, so they're the favorite. The over-under is 43. You can see the betting trends there, 72% with the spread are going with Buffalo, and 28% with Miami. And then the money line bet straight across is 100% going with Buffalo. And that's how I'm going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going Buffalo and a pick 'em. And then if I have to give up the points, the 3 points, I'm still taking Buffalo in this one, ladies and gentlemen. So let's move on to my Minnesota Vikings on the road at Indianapolis. So Minnesota, rough outing last week against Aaron Rodgers, just get torched in the secondary for the entire game. And Vegas took notice. They've made the Colts a 3.5-point favorite in this one. Right? 3.5-point favorite. Over under a 47. Against the spread, the betting trend is 75% are taking Minnesota, 25% taking Indy. So this thing's moving towards the Vikes. Moving towards the Vikes. On the money line, 93% betting the Vikings, 7% going with Indy. My pick in this one, obviously a Viking homer, so bet accordingly. But Minnesota is going to blow Indianapolis out. Zimmer gets that defense right, and we go up there to the Lucas Oil Dome or whatever the hell it's called, and we get that first dub of the season. So Minnesota again, straight across, and getting 3.5. I'm still taking Minnesota, of course. So that's that game. Let's move on to the next one. Detroit Lions. There we go. Detroit Lions at Green Bay Packers. The Packers are giving up 6.5 here. The favored by 6.5 at the open. 46 is the over-under. So we got Detroit, just a heartbreaking loss last week. Led for the whole game, and then they just blew it at the end there to Mitch Trubisky, of all quarterbacks, ladies and gentlemen. So the Lions Nation is in an upheaval. Trying to figure out when they're finally going to get a win. They haven't tasted victory in over a year. But here we go. So this one here, I'm going to take Green Bay. And even though I'm giving up 6.5, almost a full touchdown, I'm still going Green Bay. Rodgers, I think, is one of the quarterbacks that's going to benefit greatly as long as there's no fans in the stadium, because he is obviously a master at drawing teams off sides with his cadence. And this one at home, obviously no fans, no big deal there, but he's in the comfortable confines of Lambeau Field. But I'm taking Green Bay both on a straight bet, and even if I have to give up 6.5, I'm still taking Green Bay. Let's move on to the next one. New York Giants at the Chicago Bears. So the Giants they lost one game here, and the Chicago gets that victory in Detroit, so they've got a victory on their side. Chicago's favored in this one by 5, ladies and gentlemen. Chicago favored by 5. This is my upset special, ladies and gentlemen. I've actually got 2 of upset specials this week. My upset special last week, just as a review, my upset special, I didn't do real good with my picks last week, but my upset special was Philadelphia, Washington. I picked Washington straight across in that game. So upset specials, at least on the season, are 1-0. So anyway, here's this week's first of 2 upset specials. Chicago, New York Giants. The Giants, even though Chicago's favored by 5, I'm taking them in a pick'em, and I'm also taking them when you give me 5. So Giants is my upset special of the week. Let's go to the next one. Jacksonville at Tennessee, ladies and gentlemen. Jacksonville at Tennessee. Tennessee favored by 11 at the open here, ladies and gentlemen. 11. It's since dropped to -9, but again, we're going with whatever the opening line is each week when I make my picks. So Tennessee favored by 11 in this one. And they're the home team. Both teams are 1-0 on the season. There's not a lot of information on the betting trends on this one. 42.5, the over-under. Jacksonville, Tennessee, that's the one we're doing, right? You got confused there for a minute. Let's see if I can find my spot. Here we go. So straight across, straight up bet. I'm taking Tennessee in this one. And if you're giving me 11, I'm taking Jacksonville. So straight up Tennessee, give me 11, I take Jacksonville. Let's move on to the next one. Washington at the Arizona Cardinals. So the Washington team, actually that's weird. They're still showing them as the Redskins on this deal. But the Washington team traveling to the Big Toaster up there in Phoenix, and Arizona's favored by a touchdown at the open here. So Arizona favored by 7 with an over-under of 45.5. People betting the spread are going 86% towards Washington, 14 towards Arizona. That's why that line's dropping. And a straight-up money bet, 91% taking Arizona versus 9. On the over-under side, 84% are betting the over. So a lot of faith in Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins for these Arizona Cardinals. My pick in this one, Arizona straight up. And if I have to give up 7, I'm still taking Arizona in this one. So Arizona across the board. Next pick, ladies and gentlemen, is the Baltimore Ravens at the Houston Texans. Baltimore at Houston. So this one here, it opens at Ravens favored by 6 in this one against the Texans, even though it's at their house. Over under 54.5. That's dropped a lot to 51.5 now. But again, we're betting the opening lines and the opening over under, even though I don't pick over unders. But against the spread, 95% of the folks are sending their money towards Baltimore, and in a straight money line bet, everyone's taking Baltimore too. And guess what? That's what I'm doing too. I'm taking Baltimore straight up, and even if I have to give up 6, I'm still taking Baltimore, ladies and gentlemen. So let's move to the next one. Kansas City, ladies and gentlemen. The Kansas City Chiefs at the Los Angeles Chargers. Both teams 1-0 on the season. Kansas City opens up as a 5.5 point favorite, right? Kansas City opens as the favorite in this one. 51.5 is the over-under, so a lot of points expected to be scored. Betting trends as it sits early on here on a Tuesday morning. 100% of the money's going towards Kansas City, and on the money line, it's 87 to 13%, right? So my pick in this one, ladies and gentlemen, I'm taking Kansas City straight up, and I'm still taking Kansas City even if I have to give up 5.5 points. Next one, New England at Seattle, ladies and gentlemen. New England at Seattle. Both teams 1-0 on the season. Seattle the favorite in this one as the home team, and they're giving up 3.5 points. That's since moved up to 4, but at minus 3.5. 44 is the over-under. Against the spread, the money's going 82% towards Seattle and 18% towards New England, and the money is going 100% towards New England, right? So in this one here, I am going to take Seattle straight up, and if I get 3.5, I'm taking New England. So Seattle in a straight up bet, New England if I get 3.5. All right, the last game of the week is that New Orleans Las Vegas game. This is my second upset special of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Second upset special of the week. Vegas is the underdog in this one as they open up the Big Rumba in Las Vegas. Have you seen their new stadium? It's beautiful, but it looks just like one of those little vacuum cleaners that goes around your house. But here we go. New Orleans minus 5, so they're favored by 5. My pick in this one, ladies and gentlemen, Las Vegas straight across. Las Vegas in a straight up bet, and if you give me the 5 points, I'm still taking I'm obviously going to take Las Vegas there as well. So Las Vegas straight across, ladies and gentlemen. So that's our picks for this week. The picks for week 2 in the NFL, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and get this deal off the screen here. Shut down the old music. Bring up our thumbnail. And so that's going to do it for this video, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you guys for joining us today for Week 2 NFL picks and predictions here on the Skol Report. Encourage you to come back next week and see how I did again. Hopefully it was better than this past week. And we are out of here. Hit us up in the comments below. Comment and let us know what you think of our picks or how you think your team might be doing this week here in Week 2 NFL action. Also, hit that subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't done so already. Give this video a thumbs up and turn on bell notifications so that you know when next week's picks go up or when Valhalla Sports Talk goes online with any of our content. Schedule for this week is we've got another Dodger stream going tonight, and the Minnesota Vikings Game Day Live will go on Sunday morning during the Vikings game, as we will be doing every week. So anyway, you guys have a great Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your week, and Skol to the Bull.